Welcome back to Talk Solent. Joining me from the world of sustainables, renewables and musical theatre, it's Graeme, Clements, and from the world of volunteering, it's Hayley Hamlett. Hayley, yes. So you work for one community, and one of your roles is all about volunteering and helping other people volunteer and everything. But you have got a scheme that you want to tell us about, which is for lonely people?
So one community covers Fareham Borough and Eastleigh Borough. And funded by Hampshire County Council, we are operating a visitor scheme. So it's for people who are isolated, lonely for some reason or another, whether physical or mental reasons, cannot leave the home from day in, day out. And they may or may not have carers or Meals on Wheels, but actually they lack the social engagement of just talking to somebody. So if anyone's watching and they are aware of someone, a neighbour, a friend that fits under that remit, and you think having a visitor would, even just once a week for a couple of hours, would benefit them, then that's what we would offer. So they would need to go through their GP or their care team and refer to us, and then we would offer a volunteer to go in and just sit and talk, make a cup of tea, and provide them with that social interaction, really.
I think the run-up to Christmas is probably the worst, in a way, for many people, as they cope generally on their own, but the run-up to Christmas, perhaps if they're suffering grief or things like that, then it kind of brings it to home that maybe there's no one there and they could perhaps do with somebody to talk to.
Yeah, all the adverts on television are about families getting together for a meal or exchanging gifts and things like that. So television-wise, it's in their face, really, and also if they did go out, which obviously these people don't, it's everywhere. But the other thing we need is people who in the new year want to volunteer, thinking that actually they've got a few hours a week spare, that they could in fact be a visitor. So normally our visitors do it fairly near their home, so they haven't got to travel far, and we do pay their travel expenses, and they literally just go and make a huge difference. And so it's two different needs that we're looking for, really. But I met with the GP surgery today, and they are so pro the idea. They say, it's the biggest killer. Isolation and loneliness is bigger killer than anything else, because it is just so, and it is quite common.
I think people get very depressed, don't they? And you don't realise. I think once your sort of energy has gone down, and then you can also become quite insular and lose your confidence, and so many things to do with not going out and being in the world regularly.
The statistic I use is 1 million people a month won't talk to anybody.
Wow.
And that's just,
it's
but that's
such
very
a
true.
lot.
And it is true. And it's people that you're living next door to, that you're walking past their house every day, and you probably have no idea that they're in there.
But hopefully you'll get people that want to be visitors to come forward and offer to do that service. But it's also very difficult for the individuals that's become isolated to even say, actually, could someone visit me?
Yeah,
that's
it's very
really hard.
And I think that's where talking to their GPs or somebody who may be a community care team coming out, is to say, if there is any service like that, they all know about us. Is there any way that I could be within that remit, as it were, and we'll do what we can.
And how would it be because I can imagine it's quite sensitive, but say on your street you thought that there was someone who possibly you never saw any visitors go in or anything like that. How would it be if you thought that they were if you thought that they were how could you kind of recommend that maybe someone came in, or would that then be really difficult?
The only answer really for something like that, rather than approaching them and offering it as a service that you've heard about, is to obtain the flyers. I mean, the flyers like this one are out and about in everywhere in Fareham and in Eastleigh about the visiting scheme. You can get them from the libraries, and so it's putting that through their door, really. So that's putting them in the position of asking for it. We also, with the visiting scheme, it's not just about visiting and talking. We try and signpost them to things that would make a difference, whether that be a cleaner, someone to do their shopping. So it's not just about that time. We try and look at other things that can support as well.
And that's called One Community Visiting Service,
scheme,
and that's a Fareham and Eastleigh?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that something, Graeme, that you would have
I think
heard
it's a wonderful scheme. I think it's really appreciate. I mean, my mum lives on her own, and you know, when she says to me, "I went to lock the door to go to bed and realised it was still locked from the night before,"
That's yeah.
and you think, "Oh, blimey."
Yeah.
So, and I think anybody that does that kind of work is is highly commendable.
Yeah.
Very important.
Good. And also, for some people, their loneliness is just to do with the fact that they're coping with the grief, and Christmas reminds them of things when they, a happier time in their life.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you have for people that would help now?
Yeah, I think anybody over the Christmas time who is really struggling, obviously the Samaritans is fantastic, very, very experienced, and I think phoning them is couldn't be recommended enough. But however, there are more local supports that maybe over Christmas may not be open. But it's the kind of thing that we as a community-based group can put them in touch with. So it's phoning one community, going on our Facebook page or website and just saying, I need help with whatever it may be. And if we can't help, we know someone that can. And I think that's really important. And I can't highly recommend enough your local library. They have a huge resource of numbers, phone numbers, leaflets, brochures of services that are available. It's very, very sad how many people don't realise what there is out there. Just
yes,
literally
the support they can get.
Or at their local community centre.
No.
And, how many times I hear, I honestly, it's hundreds of times a week, if only I'd known about that earlier. Or, wow, that's fantastic, I wish I'd known about that, and actually it's all available through the main
But the trouble is, as well, you don't realise, and you don't know till you need something, and sometimes you don't realise you need something till possibly a little bit later than you should or needed something, if that makes sense. And then you have to talk up or somehow and say...
And Easter, you've got Help the Bereavement, fantastic charity, that will do all sorts of different things, including one-to-one support for people. So there's a lot, and that's why I think it's easier sometimes to come and see me at the library. I mean, all the libraries once a month, and they will tell you when I'm due in, and come and ask me, and I'll point you in the right direction.
Which is brilliant. And if you're over 70, I think the Silver Line is good, the one that Esther Ranson set up, isn't it? And they're open 365 a year on the phone. You can do that. So Graeme, you, what can we find out about you? You are going to be in a tribute show in Bognor. Now, what is this? And why are you going so far afield?
Yes, well, we did the exact same show in Fareham in July. So basically, our musical society, I kind of saw some talent there. I heard one of our singers at a charity do, basically just sort of singing the Karen Carpenter song. And it was so good, I sort of turned and went, is she miming or is that real? It was that good. And I thought, that's quite interesting. And then I went and saw a tribute act, and I thought, you know what, I think I could do that. And I'm thinking, so then I sort of put the feelers out around the rest of the membership, because there's 75 members, so there's quite a few members. And we put a show together, and that went down extremely well in July. So we basically opened with Karen Carpenter, we went to Judy Garland, Eva Cassidy, and then I did Johnny Cash.
Beautiful.
And it went down really well, and people were really excited about it. So I thought, well, I'd like to do it again, but not in the same sort of area. So we've gone to Bognor. I've performed at Bognor before, and it's a lovely little theatre there, the Alexander Theatre down the seafront. And we're putting on the same show again.
So if people did want to just spin down to Bognor, where can they see you? And like when and what time? Because it's February, isn't it?
It's February the 10th, yeah. And it's 7:30 start. It's only the one night. So we'll be doing the whole show again. So
obviously the voices are very similar to the people, but do they look? Have they changed their look to make them look a bit like?
I mean, I have a mop of black hair.
So are you Johnny Cash?
Yes, I'm playing Johnny
Really?
Cash. Oh yeah.
Do you do Ring of Fire?
I didn't recognise you,
Yeah. So
What, you saw our show in July?
I saw the show in July.
Well done.
I saw the show in July.
Careful what you say.
but you thought it was very good because you just
I
said.
saw a little bit of it because I organised a showcase, a community showcase, and they came along and did a demonstration of the show along with the military wives. And do you remember?
Do you know, I was there filming, but
right,
the one I saw, the bit that I saw you doing was not you doing, but some gentleman. No, it was the that you were doing some runs to do with. Oh, what was
Greece.
it?
That wasn't us.
No, it wasn't you. It was the full Monty.
Yes, we did full Monty as well. Yeah.
Yes. Now then, what part did you play in that?
I played, what was his name? Harold, the old guy who doesn't tell his wife.
Oh, yes.
And then pretends to go to work every day for 6 months.
Yes.
So, yes, and we all did the full Monty, all 6 of us, completely.
Do you know, I popped onto the Fern and Fairham Hall before, and I love the shows there. But I knew that was one I really wanted to go and see, just not to necessarily no, because I wanted to see how they managed it, and just to see the whole thing. Because especially when you
too much information now.
Did you end up using hats? Because when I interviewed someone, they said that they weren't going to use any props near the end.
Well, we had a hat, but the hat came off.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the end our hands were in the air.
Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely.
How did you manage that?
That was good fun. That was good fun.
Well,
especially for those in the front, because the blinders blinded the people at the back, but the people at the front could see everything.
I hope that was your family.
No, they were all out there going, I don't really want to see this, do I?
But was it? Did you have to prepare for that?
No, it's something I do every day.
But mostly you have your clothes on for your work.
Oh yes, normally, well, most of the time, yes. No, that's right. Yeah, no, it was good. We did a couple of serious rehearsals where at rehearsal we got naked, just so it wasn't like the first time when we got to the theatre. But no, it was all right. I mean, it's nature, isn't it? That's that.
Well, it is, and it's just what we're like in Britain, and this is why it's so funny and hilarious, and you're just like, well, what are they really going to do?
But the funny thing is, a 2-hour show, and of course everybody talks about the last 3 seconds.
Yes, of course.
But that's the same with anything, is it? The last 3 seconds better be good. Right, coming up, we'll be sharing more local views on the news catching our eye, and if you have news that we should be talking about, then do contact us on our email, which is talk@solent.com. I give you that again, talk@solent.com, or of course you can tweet us, and that's @thatsolent TV.
I can't believe you said that.